Lovelies! Welcome back if you are new to my channel. Hi, my name is Yasmin. Thank you so much for being here. So for today's video, I'm going to be doing my full coverage, non-creaseless, long-lasting makeup routine. It's pretty much the routine I've been doing every single time I do my makeup. I do it specifically for my pictures on Instagram. I love a full coverage, non-creaseless, long-lasting makeup. So I have a ton of products here that I use that I wanted to share with you guys because I did put a poll on Instagram on what kind of videos you guys wanted to see, and a lot of you wanted to see the full coverage makeup routine, so I'm going to show you guys what I got. And then another great thing about this is that it's all drugstore makeup as well. So I guess it's a drugstore full coverage routine. I'm not really sure how I'm going to name this video, but that's pretty much what it is. But anyways, I'm going to try to not make this video long. I'm just going to try to get to the point and just give you as much detail as possible in a short amount of time. So I hope that I went through everything well for you guys. But if you guys have any other questions, go ahead and drop them in the comments, or you guys can also DM me on IG and I can let you guys know what products and all that kind of stuff. But anyways, without any further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So as a reference, my skin is a combo. I do have an oily T-zone, but the majority of my face is dry. This makeup routine does use a lot of powder and setting spray, so if you guys are all the way dry, I don't know if I recommend this routine for you guys, but you can definitely try it out and just make sure you really moisturize. But it's gonna use a lot of powder. I had to do it this way now because now that I got older, I noticed my skin creases more because I used to just use a pressed powder and just press my makeup in and it'll look flawless. Lately, since right when I turned 25, my makeup started to look a little different. I'm like, oh shit, I'm gonna have to fix the way that I do things now because my skin is different. So this is the stuff that I do. And also, as you can see, I already did my eyebrows. I always do my eyebrows when my skin is fresh out of the shower. Do my eyebrows right away because that way I don't get any foundation or anything like that. My brows look better this way and it's easier to do for me. So, but you guys can always do your brows later. Also, I always like to cover my face or my hair from my makeup because I always get makeup in my hair and it irritates me. So this is kind of disgusting. I'm going to throw it in the wash after this one, but I'm just going to cover my face like so. So yeah, pretty much this is the same routine that I do every single time that I'm getting ready to take pictures. Same makeup every time. So I'm going to show you guys what it looks like. So right now this is my skin. I only have moisturizer on, but as you can see, I do have a lot of acne scars, like a lot of them, dark spots, things like that. So my skin isn't perfect, but I do cover the shit out of it. And this is just a little cut that I just got this today. Another quick tip, I also love to use brow razors to shave my peach fuzz off my face. I find that my makeup application looks so much nicer. You know how sometimes the peach fuzz takes over when you like do your makeup, you have powder and all that stuff, then you do a setting spray and you see the fuzz on your face. I hate that. So this always takes care of that. So I always make sure I do this and have a nice smooth complexion before I go in. And then I also put moisturizer. So the moisturizer that I use a CeraVe Ultralight Moisturizing Lotion. This one has SPF in it. So it's a moisturizer and a sunscreen at the same time, which I love. This is so nice on your skin. I love how it feels. It's so moisturizing and it has that sunscreen protection that I need. So thank goodness. One of the foundations that I'm going to be combining does also have that. So my skin is protected. Again, I'm aging, so I need to protect my skin from the sun. And since I'm outside taking pictures and stuff, definitely need that. So I always use this. All right, just make sure you're taking a look at my skin because all this is going to be covered. Thank goodness. But I'm going to show you guys the two primers that I go in. I do go in with primer after my moisturizer. And the two primers that I've been loving, I put this one on first. I use the Revolution Pro Blur Stick. It looks like this. I did get it from Ulta, from an Ulta haul. I have like fuzz on it and stuff and cat hair because my cats love to sit on my table. But this is the one that I use. It's just a little blur stick. It has some color to it, but it also gives some slight coverage to it. I like to clean the excess on the back of my hand just to get any of that stuff. It does have like excess little peach fuzz hairs because I always end up doing it after, but it's not that big a deal. So now it's nice and smooth and ready to apply on my face. So I'm just gonna go ahead and apply that first. So I just take the applicator directly and I kind of press and swipe at the same time, and I put it into my T-zone, and I also put it outwards towards where I have more acne scars. So towards out there. And then get the other side. So again, this does add a little bit of coverage because it has a little bit of color in it, but it also smooths the skin out. Kind of blurs it in a way. So I put it right on top of that, a little bit on my nose, a little bit here. The next primer I put on top of the blur stick is the Milani No Pore Zone. I love this stuff. It's a mattifying pore filling primer, so it is going to mattify. I do put it on my T-zone, and I love this because the first ingredient is a dimethicone. Dimethicone is great for filling in those pores and also to fill in the fine lines and wrinkles. Love that. So I am going to put this on my face on top of it, and this one I just put maybe about this much. It's so silky and smooth on the fingers. It's so weird. But anyways, I'm just going to warm it up a little bit and then apply it on my skin. So I apply it right on top. So pretty much in the same areas that I applied on the blur stick, plus any of the areas that tend to wrinkle more. So I have like some on my forehead. This part right here, not directly in between my eyebrows, but a little lower. This part seems to wrinkle sometimes with the makeup. Obviously around here, my smile line. There's a little line on my chin that always pops up too. Hold on. After those have been applied, I do take something. I'm going to use my Jerlyn's Closet card. I have two of these. This is the second one. I have my original one in my basket up in my closet. But I'm just going to take this card and dry my face a little bit, you know. That way it's not too wet. That way it actually sits on my skin for a little bit. Now that I waited a few minutes and let that primer really sit on my skin and really absorb in there, I'm going to go in with the next step. So this is the step before my foundation. This is what's really going to help me cover these guys all over my face. So I'm going to go in with a full coverage concealer, and the one that I use is the L'Oreal Infallible Full Wear Concealer, and I have the shade Cashmere. This is such a full coverage freaking concealer. It does dry pretty fast, and make sure you blend it out very quickly before it does that, and it can crease if you don't blend it out right away. But I'm going to take this concealer because it's so bomb. It's also really long lasting, and a little bit goes a long way, guys. A tiny bit goes a long way. So I'm going to take the doe foot and just kind of swipe it over the blemishes. So this is going to act like a barrier underneath your foundation to cover all that other stuff. So now I'm just going to let them sit on my skin, let them dry, and don't blend them out. I find that when I do this, that way it actually acts like that other layer to help cover the spots. So I'm going to let it sit there and I'm going to let it dry. And then I'm going to go on top with my foundation. Alright, it's been a few minutes. I'm going to apply my foundation now. So the foundation combo and tool that I use this makeup sponge from Morphe. I love this sponge so much. I got it at my last Ulta haul when I went to Vegas. I freaking love this sponge. I literally want to go online and order like 7 of these. It's actually their newer sponge. I love this. It has a weird... It's a very similar to the Juno & Co. sponge, but better. Like, it's a little softer. It's not as thick, and I love how big it is. It's like nice and bouncy here, and it has 2 flat sides, and then this little angle right here. It's so cool. So this is really helpful, especially for the type of makeup routine that I'm doing. And then for the foundations, the ones that I use, I mix these two together, both again from the drug store. It's the e.l.f. Camo CC Cream, and then I use the Wet n Wild Tinted Hydrator. I love this combo right here. This one by itself is great. It's definitely full coverage. It's really, really nice, and it does have sunscreen in it as well. It has other great ingredients and all that stuff, so this is a really good one, but it can be pretty dry. So what I do is mix them together. More of this one than this one, if I'm being honest, but like this one, it does have hyaluronic acid in it, and the coverage isn't the best, but this one has full coverage. But the formula of this is just so beautiful because it's pretty much like a tinted moisturizer, but it has a really beautiful finish, and it has hyaluronic acid, so your skin doesn't look dry at all. Like, it looks beautiful. So that's why I love the combo of these. So I'm going to take some of the foundation and I'm just going to squirt it onto my sponge. I love that this sponge doesn't absorb as much of the product, about that much. And then I'm going to take my e.l.f. CC cream and just do like one full pump like that. And then I'm just going to tap it on my face like so. I always wear a shirt that I don't really wear often because just in case I get powder and foundation and all that stuff, but you're about to see how full coverage all this is. And then again, just blend right over it. You can already see how full coverage this is. Like, this is not my face. Like, it looks like someone else's face just got glued on my face. Like, wow. Then the trick here is just to keep blending it out until it's fully blended onto the skin. Again, it's just really soft taps, nothing too harsh. But it looks really intense right now, I know. But very full coverage. Like if you guys want to rewind and see my skin before and my skin now, yeah. What's great about this is that you can still customize it. So if you still wanted more coverage, you can add less of the tinted hydrator and more of the Camo CC cream, or vice versa. Definitely, you know, personal preference, whatever you like. Obviously, I like a little bit more hydration, but I wanted that coverage, so I definitely added more of the tinted hydrator than the CC cream. But like the e.l.f. one is like so freaking full coverage that it's like, it blows my mind still. And I'm probably looking a little crazy, but I'm gonna keep the creamy foundation on. After that, also please ignore that the blood's like peeking through from the cut. It's fine, just ignore it. Like I can't cover blood, I'm sorry. But I'm gonna go in with my next step. So the next step is actually cream contour. I go in with the cream contour because I feel like it makes my skin look a little bit more defined, especially because my face looks kind of round, so it does give a little bit more definition. You can also add cream blush and cream highlighter if you wanted to, but I like cream bronzer better, so I'm going to go in with my e.l.f. cream contour palette. It looks like this one. Obviously, it's well loved. I mostly use these two shades, and then I use this little brush. It's actually the Putty Primer applicator, but I use it as a bronzer brush. So I'm going to go in and get a few taps of this one and like maybe like one tap of that one. And I just kind of tap it onto my skin. You guys have probably already seen me use this before, but I just thought I'd show you just in case. And I just slowly start building that up. It's going to look really crazy, you guys. I promise. It's going to look really crazy right now, but once it's all blended out and the powder's all on there and stuff, it's going to look really good. Also come down here towards the chin. I also cream contour my nose, but this one's going to be all about personal preference, because the way that I do my nose is very different than how usual people do their nose, because my nose is broken and I do have a hump and it's crooked. So I have to contour a certain way to make it look smaller and straight, but yet long, if that makes sense. So I just grabbed this little, it kind of looks like those Artiste brushes, but I got this one from Dollar Tree. And it just looks like this. So I just grab just a wee bit of that lighter contour shade, and I just try to straighten my nose first. This side is pretty much straight, but it's the other side. So I kind of swipe and tap at the same time. But again, this is about personal preference. This is a very different way to contour a nose, but it's the way that works for me. It makes my nose look better. Now that it's all on there, I'm going to blend it out with my sponge. Just blend it all out with the nose. I have to be kind of careful on the edges anyway. Not so much the front. This front, I just kind of tap it out, but like, be a little careful with that one. And I'm going to blend the rest out, just so it looks a little bit, you know, just less harsh, a little bit more natural. I promise this process goes a lot faster when I'm not trying to show you guys, like when I'm doing my makeup by myself. This goes pretty quickly, but since I'm trying to be detailed as possible, it's taking me a little longer. But anyways, I'm going to go in with concealer now after the cream bronzer's on there. So I'm going to take some concealer here, and I'm going to just add a little bit in my inner corner like that, and then a little outward like that. That was probably a little too much on that one, but it's fine. It's supposed to be kind of like that. And a little bit on the bridge of my nose. Little taps on my eyelid here, and then some on my chin. I'm going to blend it out. I start with the chin here. And then with this little front part of the sponge, I take it and blend out the part on my nose, just to make sure that it's more straight. And then with that same little angle, I'm going to blend this one out. So I try not to drag it down. I just blend it this way, and then I come up with that other concealer. So I try not to bring it down too much. See, I'm pretty covered, and this concealer trick also helps bring my face upwards instead of dragging it down and make me look a little older. I'm trying to make myself look younger. So it brings it all upwards, but still adds that brightness to my eye, makes me look awake. So now we're going to go in with powder. And this is the part that might be a little difficult if you have very dry skin. You can still try it, and I can let you know what might be an easier way for you to do it. But pretty much we're going to bake. So let me start with that. So now I'm going to bake everywhere that I crease, and down here just to clean up, and I do a really weird face when I do it, so I guess you guys are just going to watch to see how I do it, but I pretty much go and make sure everything is blended out before I apply the powder. I forgot to mention that I use the Morphe loose setting powder. This has been the best powder so far that I've used. That isn't too drying or like too like flashbacky. So I really like that one. Of course, you can use whatever setting powder works for you. But that's the one that's been working for me so far, and I really, really like it. So this is pretty much how I end up looking with my powder. Looks crazy, but trust me, it's gonna look really nice right now when I blend it all out and do the rest of it. But in the meantime, while this is kind of doing its thing, I like to fix up my eyebrows because my eyebrows does get a little bit messed up when I'm applying my cream products. Like here, my eyebrows kind of came off, and like here, it doesn't look as dark. So I kind of just fix them up. And then I also want to show you guys what I do with my eyeshadow. Just in case you guys are curious as to how I make my eyes look longer, how to make them look a little bit more seductive, I guess, in a way. Because I love the way that I've been doing my eyes. It's super simple, but just in case, it has to do with the technique of pulling my eyes upwards, so I'll show you guys in a minute. So now while I still have powder on there, just to wipe it off on my eyelid, I'm going to go in with my bronzer. So I use the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. This one is very well loved also, and I just take like a fluffy brush and pretty much just sweep it all over my eye just to give it some more definition and color. So I just take some of the bronzer and just sweep it over my eye real quick. Before this gets a little too crusty, I'm going to go ahead and wipe off the bake now. So I just take a fluffy face brush. I have this one from e.l.f. It's their pointed powder brush. So I kind of, not completely sweep it, but just kind of tap and sweep in a way. That way I still get some of that powder to lock into my skin. So I find that tapping motion a lot better than the sweeping motion, because I feel like if you do that, it takes off the coverage. So tapping is definitely the best way to go to keep the coverage. So see, the bake came right off and I still have the coverage left of it, and I still set my makeup. But before I do anything else, I want to set that powder in. I apply a setting spray, and I have two of them that I really, really like. I have two from the drugstore, obviously. It's the e.l.f. Stay All Night Micro Setting Mist. This one is a really good one, and then another one, my top favorite, is the Milani Make It Last Setting Spray. So I'm going to go in with this one because it is a new bottle, and I love using the new bottles. I just bought it at Target yesterday because I was running low, so I'm like, I might as well restock on it, and I just spray the shit out of my face. So I'm just going to shake it up and spray. Let me put my powder over there. Then again, I'm going to take my card and dry my face down. Quickly before I do the rest of my face, I want to show you guys the eye trick that I do for all of my photos. Unless I'm doing like a wing liner or something, this is pretty much the eyeshadow that I have every single time. But I pretty much take a angled brush like this. This is actually like a brow brush. This is from e.l.f., but it's just like an angled small brush like this. And I take a brown shadow. I just use my Elmar Cosmetics one because I really like the brown in here. So I just tap a little bit on here. And then I go in, but I start kind of at the end, but I don't bring the eyeshadow all the way to the front. I kind of start at the middle and just bring it out. Well, I actually start at the end because the middle has to be a little bit thinner than the end. That makes sense? So it kind of looks like this. I hope you guys can see it, but it pretty much looks like this. And then I'm going to wing it out. This is definitely helping with the whole bringing the eye and the face up because I did the whole concealer trick. So now this is definitely going to help as well. It kind of gives you like a fox eye if you kind of think about it. But I'm just going to wing it outward. Pretty much like that. So it doesn't have to be perfect because I'm going to put lashes and all that stuff here. But that's pretty much what I do, and I love the look it gives me. It definitely makes my eyes look a little longer, a little bit more seductive, if that makes sense. You can also bring some of the shadow and bring it a little bit on the lower lash, but not too far. I kind of bring it about there, not too far in, so it kind of still has that whole pulling the eye up effect. But I'm going to go ahead and finish that one, and I'm going to finish the rest of my face also, and I'll show you guys the trick after that. But yeah, I'm going to do that real quick. Of course, you guys can use whatever bronzer, blush, highlight you want. Mine isn't that fantastic. It's just whatever I'm feeling that day or whatever colors I'm feeling that day or something that matches my outfit, you know. But I'm going to finish that and I'll be right back. Alright, so this is my bronzer, blush, and highlight on, and I finished the eyeshadow. So I don't know if you guys can tell a difference, but my eyes look like snatched and my face is looking great. Like, I love this. So now after that, before I go in with lips or any mascara or lashes, I like to spray my face one more time. So again, I'm gonna take the Milani setting spray. I told you guys this is gonna be a lot of setting spray, a lot of powder, and make sure everything is set. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and finish the look off with a lip and some lashes. I don't know what lip I'm going to do yet. Sometimes I'm a matte person. Sometimes I want to do gloss. I don't know. It just depends on my mood. It depends on what I'm wearing. I think I know what I'm going to wear today for my photos. But I don't know. I guess you're going to see it after. And I'm also going to do my hair. So I'm going to do all that because that's not really part of the full coverage. So I'm just going to do all that and then I'll be right back to show you guys the finished look. Alright guys, so this is the finished look. Let me know what you guys think down below and let me know if you guys are going to try this out for yourself. I definitely love the way I do my makeup now. I feel like it definitely helps with my skin. I think it looks really good. It's full coverage. It's definitely going to last and it looks bomb in pictures and in person. So in case you guys want to try it out, go ahead and let me know down below. And I guess that's everything from me, guys. I love you guys so much and thank you guys so much for watching and I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye!